How's everybody doing? 皆様こんばんは。今週も始まりました。いや、毎週本当に楽しいトピック、素敵なゲストがいっぱい来てくださっております。本当ね、もうセバスチャンもすごい良かったですし、今回もね、またすごいホットな、ゲストが来てくれてるので、ね、ご紹介したいと思います。本当に皆さんびっくりなさらないでくださいよ。サンデーラブのね、CTO でありますLanninghamもここで呼んでみたいと思います。Hi. Did you catch enough of my Japanese?
I did. I don't know Japanese, but thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know you're busy, but it's a great honor to have you on the show.
Yeah, very busy these days, but always good to do community outreach and things like that.
Yeah. So, this program itself is, the title is called Cardano Radio. And, I know that you're very busy and you have so much to talk about Sundae Labs. But, as I always open the show, I just wanted to talk to you about, like how you got into Cardano and like a little bit of background about yourself. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the mic is yours.
Yeah, great. So my name is Pi. That is like the number. I actually got it changed legally. Because pi was a nickname I picked up in school because I had a bunch of digits of pi memorized, and then it kind of just stuck. I've been programming for, I think, like 26 or 27 years now.
Wow.
Started very young. Got into crypto back in like 2009, mined a bunch of Bitcoin on like a Dell laptop, and then that laptop got stolen. I didn't end up accidentally rich. But I've been interested in crypto for a very long time. Found Cardano in 2017 and kind of just started following it as just a token that I hold and something that I found really interesting from a technical standpoint. Built a career around like scalable, web SaaS software, and then in 2021, somebody approached me about building a DEX, building SundaeSwap. And, the idea sounded interesting. I was looking for kind of a project to do in my spare time outside of work, and it kind of just really took hold of me. I very quickly became, one of the senior devs, and then I was originally the chief information officer, which was kind of like a junior CTO. Then I took over the CTO position when the previous CTO left. And then the two founders decided to leave, and they sold me the company fairly cheap. So we launched our product in SundaeSwap, the first AMM DEX on Cardano, in January of 2022. So very early on in kind of the Cardano smart contract space.
Yeah.
And then, we've had a couple of rocky years. It's been a difficult market for a lot of people. And then, but we've kind of pivoted. So we still do a lot of work on the DEX. It's still kind of our passion product, the thing that we're most proud of. We push a lot of features, but it's a protocol that's out there for anybody to use now.
Yeah.
And we kind of just happen to be responsible stewards of it. But we do a lot more these days. We are kind of a consulting firm that's looking to push Cardano as far as it can go. So we're helping on a bunch of different projects like Amaru and Acropolis, and we're helping on Midnight even and things like that. So we can talk about those a bit later, but that's kind of how I got into the space. And the reason that I'm here, which I always like to tell people this because I think it's really interesting. The reason that I'm here is because ultimately I want to have a positive impact on society at a grand scale. I think that in many ways the world is fundamentally broken. And I think a lot of people, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, feel that and feel that the world is broken in fundamental ways. And I approach that from like a, more classically left standpoint of wanting to kind of build social safety nets that support people in need and things like that. But crypto seems to me the only thing happening in the world right now that has gotten people to reevaluate their priors, that has convinced people to say, hey, maybe with technology, we have a new tool in our toolbox for how we can structure society. And we can start to, I've described it before as a nuclear disarmament treaty, right? So you have these power structures, like the government or like large corporations that have amassed a huge amount of power. And crypto to me is an attempt at slowly disarming that power, slowly disarming those nuclear weapons, and kind of taking some of these rules that were either just convention or were applied inconsistently and trying to bake those into, the fundamental firmament of our society, like things like ownership of money, right? And so I have a very love-hate relationship with crypto sometimes, where the industry is so filled with scammers and rug pulls and drains, and it's like, is this really what I want to spend my life contributing to? But at the end of the day, it has this like staggering and awe-inspiring depth to its potential. And if Pandora's box is opened, and if I put my head in the sand and I go work on something else, in kind of classic Web 2, I'm in a sense allowing this industry to exploit people when it has potential to be so much more. And so as frustrated as I get with certain aspects of this industry and what other people in the industry have focused on, I just can't pull myself away, and I'm really passionate about driving society forward with this new tool in our toolbox.
Yeah, there are a lot of scammers, like you say, and especially when the crypto market gets better, wow, you get tons of them. And talking about the market, this time like just right now, I mean, people doesn't really look at the macro view, but people were excited to have like a bull market from January this year. Trump's coming into power and this and that, and everything's going to bloom and everybody's going to be happy. And, we stand here and, of course, the year is not over. And, it's a long story. It doesn't happen in a day. But what do you think is going to happen to the market, like, in a few months or maybe half a year? Do you think it's going to catch some more momentum, or what's your standpoint?
I think... I'm, far from an economist or a trader or, anything like that. Take anything I think with a grain of salt. But I think in general, the market does whatever the most people don't expect it to. If you have this strong sentiment that we're just on the cusp of the bull market, then everybody is going to start trading with that in mind and take the wind out of the sails. And so I think these things generally have to be triggered by something and kind of catch people by surprise. So I think, in the long term, things are positive. I think, but I think people trying to anticipate it too much is what gives us these like limp bull markets and things, right? Everybody's looking to make a bunch of money, and so they position their assets in a way that doesn't let kind of organic demand develop or whatever. So I think long term I'm very bullish, as they say, but I have no idea what it'll do in the short term.
Yeah, true. Probably nobody has a real answer to that question. And you were mentioning you jumped into Cardano. Did you say 2017?
Yeah, like end of 2017, early 2018, when we had that really big bull run right through the new year, and Bitcoin hit 20K for the first time and all that.
Yeah, so you're already in ADA for approximately 8 years, and Cardano has evolved. It came a long way, and now it has the governance and stuff, and plus you're a DREP, right? Right now. So I want to hear
and a stake pool operator.
SPO as well. Sorry, I left that out. Can you give me your like perspective point of view of like how the government is doing right now, and what's your take as a D-rep, and if there's any things you want to change and make some changes, or how you feel about it?
Yeah, I think generally it's very positive. I think this is a very, very hard thing to do. I think it rips communities apart in general, right? Like if you look at the vitriol and the toxicity within the Bitcoin community as they try to govern and as they try to make decisions about the future of that blockchain, it is, I'm somebody who kind of got very disillusioned with Bitcoin back when the original block size debate happened in, what was that, 2015 or 2014? And so I just, I think that it's very, very difficult to develop social systems where people both care about things and treat each other with respect. And that's kind of maybe the biggest existential risk for Cardano governance is we have to get to a place where, at least in general, at least the expectation is that most people who've been here a long time have the best interest of the chain at heart, even if they disagree about what that is. And the outlet we have through our ability to vote should allow us to engage each other with more respect and decorum. And this isn't necessarily like to tone police people, but to, if your immediate go-to rhetoric is that somebody is like scamming, or that they are malicious, or that they are an absolute idiot, or that they're part of a cabal, like, how do you de-escalate from that, right? How do you de-escalate from the absolute most unhinged things you can say about somebody? And so I think it's we need to learn as a community that it is totally fine for people to disagree. And it is totally fine for you to put your voice out there and to weigh in on governance, and for it to not go your way. And I think right now there is an undercurrent, which I think is a fair reaction to politics around the world. Like if you look at the politics that we're immersed in the US or in the UK or elsewhere in the world, these things are systems where you don't have a lot of agency to change things. You don't have a great voice, and where things have gotten really bad. So I think it's natural that people feel, they transplant this doom and gloom from the other systems that they have experience into Cardano. But I think people feel like if they put their voice out there and their voice doesn't get incorporated into whatever happens, right? So, we saw this a lot when SIP 1694 was getting drafted. A lot of people gave their input on it, and there were many cases where that input made meaningful changes to SIP 1694. It's fairly different from that first draft. But people assume that if there's one thing that they put out there that didn't get folded in, that their feedback wasn't listened to. And I think that's wrong, because we can't accommodate everybody.
True.
Not everybody is right. And so it's not just a melting pot where we put everything in. And this process where we discuss and iterate on these proposals is taking your feedback into account, independent of if your feedback actually, you get your way, so to speak. And I think that's going to be a really hard lesson for people to learn, because I think people feel very passionately, and then feel like if their feedback isn't incorporated, they feel censored, or they feel excluded, or whatever. And I just don't know how to get people to that mindset of no, the process of being able to have discourse and convince other people so that ultimately your decision gets included. If you don't survive that process, if you don't convince people, then your idea isn't a good one, right? And it shouldn't be incorporated. So I think that's just going to be really difficult for people to navigate over the next 10 years.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you got a great point there. And I mean, this year especially, I mean, you know, I myself started in the crypto around, I don't know when, about 2014, 15. And, you know, I got interested and, you know, I'm still here right now. But, you know, I looked at different blockchains and different tokens and stuff like that. But like this year, like how people not attacked Charles verbally, you know, what happened in the summertime. And I was really disgusted. I mean, you know, he had to go through all that lawyers and paperwork. And, you know, of course it got published, so his name got cleared. But I mean, if I was in case, I you know, I would have been too heartbroken. I couldn't take it, you know, I mean, and I don't see other blockchains or other token getting that much, you know, attacked in a way, right? So I don't know, maybe they expect too much out of Cardano because it has, you know, tons of potential. So that's the way I take it. But how did you feel when that happened about Charles?
Yeah, I mean, it's awful. And to some extent, like, I can understand not necessarily where the main culprits came from. I think that just came from a place of maliciousness because of past history. But the other people who kind of bought into that idea, you know, I can understand without access to that information why it would seem suspicious, right?
Okay.
I was initially suspicious when I learned that there was some random change to the ledger rules, right? But I think people don't have an appreciation for, one, how if you don't have access to all of the information, then it can really shape and warp your perspective of something, right?
Yeah.
So like even just small details like the outreach that continued to happen after that ledger rule change can completely change the nature and character of what that action represented. And they also don't have an appreciation for how difficult it is to navigate these things in real time. And it's so easy to you know, to critique it from the other side and to say, well, you should have done this better, you should have done that better. So I think it was just a really nasty, awful situation where a few people, a few highly visible people were pursuing a vendetta, and a bunch more well-intentioned people kind of got caught up in it. Yeah. Right. And so I understand those other people, and I understand like where they came from or why they were suspicious or you know, had questions. And I think that it's great that Charles put so much effort into getting that audit report out so that we had that transparency, right? Which, you know, one of the things you can say IOG could have done better is make sure that information was more public from the get-go, right? But, you know, that is a very different statement than saying Charles committed some major crime. So, you know, it was just kind of a stain on our community, how it snowballed and how it became so toxic and weaponized.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much on your opinion. Well, it's going to be a wrap for episode 1. I mean, it's amazing how time flies. You know, it's already at the end of the program. And thank you for joining us this week. And, you know, I'm looking forward to learning a lot from you again next week. So, but thank you very much for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
All right. じゃあ皆さんまた来週お会いしましょう. See you next week. Bye bye.
Energy efficient, no miners round the clock. Hydra for scaling, Mithril for speed. Smart contracts later, serving the need. Millions of wallets, adoption and in play. Cardano grows stronger with each passing day. Governance voting, treasury flows. Chain hard fork, the community knows. DeFi's alive, liquidity streams. Cardano's building real world dreams. ADA, we rise on your wings. From blockchain roots to real world things. DeFi, governance, midnight align. Cardano's vision, the future defined. delegate rewards to keep midnight with us, protecting the right. Privacy balanced with laws in sight. Identity verified, freedom intact. Zero knowledge whispers guard every act. From Voltaire's voice to Treasury song, on-chain decision.